Hello, my name is Zozo. I use they, them pronouns, and I don't know about you, but I really like dinosaurs and I really like Pokemon, so I decided to draw dinosaur Pokemon, but as more realistic dinosaurs, but also while keeping that same kind of like Pokemon personified kind of charm with them, you know? So it's not like, it's realistic, but it's not like boring, you know, if that makes sense. The Pokemon I decided to draw are Rampardos, Bulbasaur, Cubone, and Meganium. So first I did Rampardos, and I feel like the obvious thing to go for is Pachycephalosaurus, but I didn't want to go for the obvious thing, so I did a little more research and I found this other species which I saved photos of, but I didn't write down the name, so I don't remember this species name. But this species is like smaller, so I was thinking maybe it would be like the baby Rampardos, and I know it's not a baby, and that's not, it has an actual different name, but whatever. I was thinking I could do it like as baby Rampardos, but that also has spikes on its head, and this species of actual dinosaur doesn't have spikes. So I just kind of scratched that idea and went back to Pachycephalosaurus and drawing Rampardos. So Rampardos has spikes in places that Pachycephalosaurus does not. Pachycephalosaurus has spikes on kind of like the back of its head and like in front of its little nose, I guess. But Rampardos also has them on like their shoulders. I don't know if that's quite their shoulders. It's not really their, I guess it isn't their neck, but it looked like, I don't know. But yeah, their knees, they're somewhere up here kind of. And you can see that some of the blue stripes have spikes, but others don't. So my interpretation of this is that those spikes aren't actually Rampardos's skeleton. Those are actually like spikes on like knee pads or like a collar, and also like wristbands and the tail band, I guess. Yeah, I ended up adding more spikes to it. You'll see what I'm talking about if I'm explaining this stupidly, but yeah, I just like the idea of having their trainer be like super overprotective, even though it's like a very like it seems like a very angry and kind of like fierce Pokemon that doesn't need that extra gear and whatnot, which could also probably be cheating though, since the gear isn't just for defense, but it has spikes, which is also kind of offensive, so that's also kind of cheating maybe. But anyway, Rampardos is like a very like angry looking kind of species, and again I wanted to keep that with its personality. So yeah, I said personality, not personality, because oh my god, I had such a strong SNL clip phase watching. Hold on, I had a very strong phase where I watched a lot of SNL clips. And whatever, I'm gonna play what I'm talking about.
Great crack. She's got a great personality.
Because I say personality like to myself, like yeah, as a joke, but now sometimes I actually struggle saying personality, but it's fine. I didn't struggle with it, so it's fine, whatever, you don't gotta worry about it. But obviously Rampardos and Pachycephalosaurus, their body shapes are different. Rampardos is definitely built different. Also, by the way, Rampardos has feet like a Tyrannosaur instead of a Pachycephalosaurus. I'm not saying I drew Pachycephalosaurus's feet accurately. I'm not saying I drew the feet super more accurately, but I'm just saying those feet are definitely Tyrannosaur inspired and not Pachycephalosaurus inspired. But yeah, these body types are very different, so I used the liquefy tool on an image of a drawing of Rampardos to mess around with it, and this is what happened. I hate when people you say to use the liquefy tool as a tip, not because I think it's cheating, because it's not cheating. And I don't even want to get into that because I don't care enough to do so. I don't like when people tell me to just use the liquefy tool at the very end for little details, because I don't know how to use it properly, and it always looks stupid and scuffed, and Procreate does that thing where it's so difficult to undo. Like, it'll do that thing where it doesn't, if you're like adjust something, it doesn't undo it, it just selects what you were trying to undo. Is really annoying. But anyway, this was the first sketch that I came up with. I actually didn't do any proper line art. I kind of just used the sketchy thing that I first did. So yeah, I never did real line art. But this was the first draft, is what I mean. The first draft with some basic coloring. Oh, to keep Rampardos's kind of like kind of angry, like strong, kind of like come at me personality, I was looking at the references for Pachycephalosaurus, and its arm, and like his hand, it's kind of doing that thing where it's like, hey, like, you know, come at me, hey, you know, it's trying to square up. That's what I was going for in here. And as you could see in my reference, like the other arm is just kind of down. I fixed that in the next sketch. But yeah, I wanted to keep that kind of thing.
Personality.
But as you can see, it's difficult to see. As you can see, it's difficult to actually see the outline of the hand because it's kind of muddied by the leg in the background, and that's because I was going based off of the reference, obviously, because I couldn't just draw the bone. I also had to like account for the actual meat on the leg. By the way, I don't know if I don't really know what Pachycephalosaurus's legs looks like. I feel like when I was drawing them, I felt like I was drawing them the way I would draw a person's legs, and then I felt like it was the way I would draw like a pony's legs. Is whatever. It was interesting. I sketched this, so for the second thing, and I saw this tip that was said for line art or for a resketch or whatever, you turn down your original sketch or draft or whatever, you turn the opacity down, that way you can barely see it, and this way you're focusing more on your line art and what that actually looks like rather than trying to match it to the sketch, because as every artist knows, you'll do a really good sketch and then you do the line art, you get rid of the sketch layer, and the line art looks god awful. So the purpose of that is to make your line art actually look better, because you're focusing on what the line art actually looks like. Plus it's weird because it's like, if you like how the sketch looks, to me it almost feels like, why bother doing line art? So I technically didn't. I would sketch it and I didn't add that extra step of doing line art for any of these, but I did have to make a second draft for 3 out of 4 of these. But anyway, here's the final product of the first one. Yeah, so we got Rampardos in the ring, ready to go. It says, "Come at me, bitch," as you can probably read. Maybe you can't read, I don't know. But yeah, I really liked how I drew the little crowd in the background. It was just that big mush of people and whatever, and doing the lighting was kind of cool. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Next one I did was Bulbasaur. I don't know if Bulbasaur is technically a dinosaur Pokemon. When people do draw Bulbasaur as more of a realistic animal, it's always like some sort of turtle or frog. This, by the way, is really impressive, and the detail's crazy, and there's like false eyes, which are really crazy, and is just so crazy, and it's weird looking. Bulbasaur is usually drawn as usually like a frog, sometimes a turtle, but Bulbasaur isn't either of those. And I'm gonna tell you why. Let's rewind. Let's take a look at these two silhouettes of basic head shapes for animals. The one on the left is a frog, and the one on the right is a cat, obviously. But which one does Bulbasaur look more like? It's the cat one. It's the cat. I'm gonna answer for you. It's the cat because Bulbasaur has pointy ears. Bulbasaur has pointy ears and also like a rounded kind of face, like more like a cat. I think that's why Bulbasaur is so cute, because Bulbasaur looks more like a cat, even though it doesn't. I don't know, even though like a lot of people don't look at Bulbasaur and think, oh, that's a cat. Like Bulbasaur doesn't look like a cat, but they also do, but they like secret, like they're cat coded. Does that make sense? They're cat coded. But anyway, not only does Bulbasaur have pointy ears like a cat, and frogs and turtles don't have pointy ears like that. Or maybe they don't have external ears at all, or maybe they do have external ears and those external ears are just the holes, or maybe the holes aren't called I don't know that much about ears. I don't know that much about ears. I'm not redrawing Pokemon ears. That would be weird. That'd be a very interesting study, just specifically Pokemon ears as more realistic animal ears. But what I was trying to say is Bulbasaur also has pointy claws. Frogs and turtles don't have claws. I think tortoises might have claws, now that I think about it. Or nails? Is there a difference between claws and nails? I don't know. My point is Bulbasaur is very pointy. But now I will admit that Bulbasaur's back slopes down, kind of like a frog's, and not like a cat's. A cat's back is more straight across. Frogs are more, they kind of like bend over, sort of. They got like that curve, they kind of slope down, and Bulbasaur's also slopes down. But you've forgotten, we're not just drawing any animals, we're drawing, well, I guess dinosaurs. This still isn't a dinosaur, but we're drawing prehistoric animals, all right? We're drawing dinosaur Pokemon as prehistoric animals. Let me introduce you to Smilodon Teeny. Now, Smilodon, just in general, because that's what this was. Smilodon, just in general, I keep touching my screen. So Smilodon, which is also known as saber-toothed tiger, even though it's actually not a tiger, its back slopes down, especially in certain subspecies. One of those subspecies where that back especially slopes down is called Smilodon Teeny. And here is that right there. And you can notice that Bulbasaur has kind of like that spotty sort of pattern on them, and this feline, Smilodon Teeny, also has that kind of pattern to them. And frogs don't really have that pattern to them, and neither do turtles or whatever. So yeah, I drew Bulbasaur as Smilodon Teeny. Now, the one thing I was having trouble with was, does Bulbasaur have a tail? Because Smilodon Teeny does have a tail, but I didn't know if Bulbasaur had a tail. And when I looked it up, mostly what I found was artwork. I could only find artwork the first time I looked it up, and I found some artwork with a tail, and I found some other artwork that we're gonna pretend like I didn't see. But then I remembered that I have my own little light of Bulbasaur, and as you can see, Bulbasaur does not have a tail, unless the merch is inaccurate. Even though it's official merch, sometimes official merch is inaccurate, and I could see that argument. So yeah, Bulbasaur canonically doesn't have a tail, but I guess it didn't matter because I drew Bulbasaur with a tail anyway. Anyway, so because Smilodon Teeny has a very small tail, anyway, I just said anyway like 5 times. This was the first reference I used for drawing Bulbasaur, and now that I'm looking back at it, I'm realizing how weird this back leg looks. It's like really awkward. I'm gonna blame that for the reason why my sketch turned out so badly. Which was this. Okay, it was already bad. I just added that face to dick around because I was like, I can't mess it up anymore. Okay, so for Rampardos, for the second draft, like I said, I based it off of the first sketch, the first draft. I'm using sketch and draft interchangeably. I lost my ring. I got my ring. But for this one, I just completely scratched it out and just used this as the reference instead. And here's what I got. And I actually included my first sketch here because I thought that was, I don't know, I thought that was silly or whatever. I'm actually pretty proud of this. It was super fun to paint it. Yeah, Bulbasaur's flower bud kind of looks like a big onion. Oh yeah, I changed the bud from green to purple because I thought it just looked cooler. I just wanted more colors, I guess. I don't know how I feel about this background. I feel like I have a lot of difficulty with backgrounds and drawing backgrounds. That's where I really get stuck. And it's really annoying and I don't like it. But I actually really do like the background I drew for Cubone, which is the next one. Before we get into that though, I want to bring up again how there is a genocide going on in Gaza right now. And there's also some other shit going down in Sudan and the Congo. I don't know as much about that though, so I'm gonna do my research and probably mention them in like my next videos. I have crumbs on my face. Ew. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So there's a genocide going on in Gaza right now, and it's been going on for a while. And people need to get the frick out of there, right? Because they're being killed. Innocent people are being killed, and they need to get out of there. So a lot of Palestinians have created they've made GoFundMes for themselves and their families to donate to. And the great thing about that is because there are other organizations that are for helping Palestine, especially like some organizations help get food to them. What's tricky though is that I don't know how often, I don't know the exact numbers, but like a lot of times all that food in the truck is going to waste, and it's just like there's just some issue where the truck drivers are just like, I don't know what the fuck to do right now. And all of this food is spoiled anyway. It's just a bunch of bullshit going on. But luckily with the GoFundMes, you can donate directly to Palestinians and their families instead of donating to some organization and hoping food actually gets to them. And it just sucks. And I don't mean like don't donate to organizations. I'm just saying I think priority number one, if you're going to donate, the best thing to do is to donate to Palestinians directly with their like GoFundMes and such. So I have 9. Sorry if that seems overwhelming or whatever, but you know. But I mean, is 9 really so overwhelming? Because it's a lot more than 9 people being affected by this genocide. It's a lot more than 9. So when you put it in perspective, 9 is not a lot. 9 is not a lot. So I have 9 links to different, for different Palestinians and their families. One of them is actually a doctor and their patients, actually. And again, this is all going to be in my description. So yeah, and all of these I believe a lot of these, sadly, they're like, because it has the little bar of how much of their goal and how much has been donated, and it's a lot of them are just it's not a lot, man. It's not a lot. So these people really need any little bit of money, and especially like it's also important to share this, to share their links so it gets to more people so they can because once it gets to more people, then more people can possibly donate. And again, like, every little bit counts, even if it is just $1. Like, that will help, and that will make a difference, because all those little numbers add up, because you're not the only person donating just $1. You know what I mean? All of their links are going to be in my description. And also, if you are kind of lost about what exactly is going on in Palestine and why, I'm gonna have a couple reads for you guys. So there is this website called decolonizepalestine.com. Again, this is going to be in the description. It gives a lot of information about the history of Palestine, because a lot of people mention the date, I believe it's October 7th? I don't know, of just last year. It's some date in October, but the history of, like, this conflict between Israel and Palestine started way before that, way before just October of last year. So yeah, Decolonize Palestine has, like, a lot of info. Duh, I just said that. Another link I want to share with you guys, this one isn't a full website. This is literally a 3-minute read. Literally a 3-minute read about, that is giving information about how, okay, so for anybody who is curious, especially, like, if you're also an American and you're wondering why our country has provided billions in military funding to Israel. So JVP, The Wire, wrote about this. And what the hell is happening? I'm trying to fucking... Why is this link not working? I swear to fucking God, dude. Come on. No, does this link not fucking work? I swear to fucking God. No. What the hell? Okay, as I'm trying to currently open it, there is a bit of a problem, but hopefully by the time this is posted and whatnot, because it says it's a problem with the host, hopefully you'll be able to read it. It's about why the US supports Israel and why my fucking tax dollars are going towards killing people. Because that's what's happening. Again, remember to share those links. Remember to share them. If you can, please donate to those GoFundMes. Share the decolonizepalestine.com website, because it's just important to get that information out there more, because I know a lot of people want to know more about this, but they're not quite sure what to even search for or which website to trust. That's another big thing. But yeah, and also share. Hopefully this link is fucking working. What the hell? But also please share JVP's, what's it called? Article? That's the word. Article on why the US is giving so much money to Israel, which sucks. And by the way, there's a lot of places you can boycott as well, like Starbucks, because the reason why you need to boycott these places is because they use a bunch of their money to support Israel's military. They use their money as military funds for Israel. Bad. I mean, it's basically just every big company, which sounds sad, but I feel like the safest option is to find more local things in your area or smaller businesses, because yeah, places like McDonald's, Starbucks, Domino's, Pizza Hut, it's a lot of food places. It's not just food places though, because there's also like some tech companies that do that. And I actually did find something about that, where if you want new tech, you can actually go to this place, and I'll link it in the description as well. You can buy like recycled devices, or like they're technically used or pre-owned, but they're like new, and the people who work there a lot of times, like people who are like super interested in tech and like just like they're not part of a big company. Does that make sense? They're just like normal human beings that just want to take these older devices and make them so they're like fully functioning again, and actually use like proper batteries and whatnot, so they're actually like really good. I don't know a lot about tech. I don't know a lot about tech. Oh yeah, but that's especially because I believe in the Congo. There oh god, there is some material that's used in a lot of tech, like your phone, computer, etc. Solar panels too, which is so frustrating. So big companies, big tech companies are like forcing people in the Congo to mine that certain material that they need to put in their tech, and that sucks. So that's why it's important to buy like basically like upgraded tech, I don't know, from those smaller groups of people who take slightly older devices, and then they like revamp them, they give them a little makeover, and it's like good as new. So yeah, please share around all those links, and if you can, please donate to the GoFundMe's. Again, like, I know 9 different families feels like a lot to donate to, but when you put it in perspective, because I don't know the exact number of Palestinians killed already, or the exact number of just in general, like those affected. You know what I'm saying? Even if you donate just $1 to each one, that's going to help. So please donate and share their links, and share the informative links as well. That I will, again, this will all be in the description. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your attention, and sorry if I kind of didn't make any sense at some point. I also forgot to mention this, but for each of these families, except for one of them, I found out about them and their GoFundMe's just through them DMing me on Instagram. They were just reaching out, to a bunch of people and hoping it was gonna stick to some people and that some people were gonna reply. Like, I just think that's important to say. Like, could you imagine being in that situation where, like, yeah, like all like, oh my god, I can't even fucking say it. Like, that's just really fucking scary. Like, I can't even fucking fathom being in a genocide and having so many people, like so many loved ones, like die around me. Like, holy shit. And not being able to take care of yourself or other family members or your pets. Like, Jesus Christ. And not even, and like wondering whether or not you'll be able to like even have money to like continue educating yourself, because some of these links do specifically mention like to help them continue their education as well. People need a lot of money, not just to get out of Gaza. Like, I don't know, it's not like anybody like hits their like GoFundMe goal and then, oh, they don't have to worry about money forever. They still need a way of getting more money, and like they don't have jobs. They don't have any way of getting money because their homes, where they worked, that's all fucking destroyed. So that's why it's really fucking important to donate and to share these around. Like, please share. Even if it's just $1, it's going to help. So thank you. By the way, I just thought of this. So on here, YouTube, I have the membership thingies, right? And for the rest of this year, for anybody who becomes a member of this channel, I will donate any money made from the membership levels to one of those 9 families in Palestine. And I will take a screenshot of the donation receipt or whatnot, obviously blocking out any, credit card information, duh. And I will post that to the community tab or whatever, so you guys will know if I'm lying or not, okay? So yeah, anybody who becomes a member from now until the rest of the year, any of your membership money going to me will actually go to a family in Palestine. So not only are you donating, but you're also getting the special little perks of being a member on this channel, whether it's the loyalty badges, which I just updated and they're fun little things, or I will also draw your profile picture, so you're getting free art. And also I'll make a drawing live stream, because that's fun, just a chill little live stream. And I'll also do a crochet live stream, because I do crochet and that could be fun. My arm is getting tired. And I can also, speaking of drawing, I can also just make wallpapers, because again, this is another membership thing. I'm saying I could do this. I will. I don't mean to sound maybe I will, maybe I won't. But yeah, and then obviously there'll be certain polls that only members have access to. So not only will you, depending on each tier, get all those things or some of those things, depending on the tier, depending on how much you can give, but you will also be donating to a family in Palestine. And again, I'm going to do this from now until the rest of the year. And yeah. So Cubone has the Pokemon has some lore to him. Cubone is a baby Kangaskhan Khan. I just spit on my hand. Is a baby Kangaskhan Khan who, okay, so Cubone is a baby Kangaskhan Khan, baby KB Gangan, whose mom Kangaskhan Khan dies, and the baby one used its mom's skull as protection, since it's a little baby all on its own now. I'm pretty sure that's the lore. When I was recreating the drawing, I wanted to base I'm just gonna call him Cubone, because whatever, I'm not gonna call it Kangaskhan Khan or whatever. I sound like my dad when I came out to him and told him to call me Zozo. Anyway, so just, him just refusing to whatever. Anyway, so I treated Cubone and the Cubone skull as 2 different species, even though they're technically the same species lore-wise, which is funny because I thought I was doing something cool because it kind of matches the lore, but it actually kind of doesn't. So for the skull, it's got the 2 horns, so I was looking at different kinds of ceratopsians with only 2 horns instead of the 3rd nose horn. Because the most popular ceratopsian is the Triceratops, but there are a lot of different ceratopsians out there, and I landed on a Rhinoceratops. Since I wanted the skull and Cubone to be in the same time period, and I didn't write down what time period it was, but I know that it's the same one as Allosaurus, and it got specific too. It was the beginning of the Cretaceous period, if I'm remembering correctly, but I don't remember. Okay, so I just fact checked myself because I figured I could just look it up again anyway. Allosaurus was alive during the late Jurassic, and our Rhinoceratops was alive during the Campanian to Maastrichtian periods, which in those 2 periods were in the late Cretaceous. So I got that wrong. So yeah, I was originally gonna draw Cubone as Allosaurus and the skull as a Rhinoceratops, but then I kind of didn't want to do Allosaurus, and I was looking around at other animals during that time period, and I found Trinisaura, which is this cute little guy. And Trinisaura lived RIP, rest in peace, lived in Antarctica. But then I realized not only does it have to be in the same time zone, but also in the same place. And a rhinoceratops did not live in Antarctica. So then I was looking for other ceratopsians and I couldn't really find any. And I was like, screw ceratopsians that were in this era, specifically with only 2 horns, in this place. So I switched over to ankylosaurs and I found Antarctopelta. And Antarctopelta's skull is bigger than Trinisaurus skull, but not like too big, you know? That way the ratio from Cubone to the Genghis Khan skull is the same ratio, or at least a similar ratio to the Trinisaura and Antarctopelta skull. So yeah, by the way, I love how in the top one, that's the usual kind of artwork you see when comparing like a species to a person. It's like this kind of like it's very much like some sort of 6'4" like male or whatever, but on the bottom one it's like this person's so cunty. Do you know what I mean? I think it's the pose. But I just love that. They even have heels. They have heels. Do you see that? They have heels on. They got a silhouette to them. They got hair. They got like some bangs and then like a bob or something. Like this is like that. I love that. And I want to see more of it. I want to see more. I want to see more cuntiness in art, in scientific papers. You know what I mean? But yeah, so congratulations, pat on the back to me for doing that research of finding 2 different species in the same time period on the same continent. I guess it could have technically been 2 completely different areas on the same continent. But I mean, maybe, I don't know. Actually, it could have been completely different biomes within the same continent. I was feeling proud of myself, and now I'm thinking there could have been more research done, but it's fine. It's just for fun. So here's the first draft I did. I have a big ass note for myself to add feathers. There's my little Cubone and Trinisaura and Antarctopelta references onto the side, and some other like reference I had in the background, but then but then the other photos were over it. I don't know. The thing is though, the thing that was really bothering me with this draft, because I didn't know how to really move forward with it, and also it kind of looks like a cow. The skull kind of looks like a cartoon cow. You know, does anyone else see that? Because I saw that a lot. So this is the finished project, and the finished product, whatever, same thing. And I actually really liked how it turned out, and I really like the little background and like the random little details I kind of did. And I also have the rest of the Antarctopelta skeleton in the corner there. It's just kind of a jumble. I didn't pay too much mind to it. I didn't want to spend too much time on that part, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I mentioned earlier about using different tools or different brushes. I definitely use different ones for the skull, the exposed legs and Cubone's bone that they hold. So I use one brush for all of those things, and then a different brush for like Cubone's like body, and I guess those are, I don't know if it's feathers or if it's proto feathers or if it's something else. I don't specifically know what Trinisaura has specifically. It's kind of cool. The first time I looked at it though, after I was done, I don't know if anybody else sees this, but I feel like Cubone kind of looks like they got robot legs. Does anybody else see that? Like, it looks more metal than bone. I mean, Trinisaura doesn't have bone exposed. It's not bone, but it's just like a lack of feathers. Oh, so I guess it should have been more like a pinky kind of. Whatever. I'm not critiquing this part. I'm not critiquing whatever. I'm not critiquing my finished whatever. That's the comments job or whatever the hell. Next one, final one, is Meganium, which when I first Googled which dinosaur it's based off of, it said Brachiosaurus. But that's the obvious thing. That's the obvious choice. So I did a little more research because there are a lot of different kinds of sauropods. Sauropod is basically, it's the long neck dinosaurs. So I was looking at different kinds of sauropods, and I was looking at Diplodocus, and I noticed that Diplodocus has a more horizontal kind of posture, while Brachiosaurus is a lot more vertical. Its neck goes like more up than out, you know? So I did the same thing I did with Rampardos and Pachycephalosaurus, where I actually just went back to what it was originally based on. So I just stuck with Brachiosaurus for Meganium. Now I was thinking back to Prehistoric Planet's, that one episode with Dreadnoughtosaurus, and it had those inflated air sacs all on its neck for mating purposes to, you know, attract the mates. I remember thinking one day that it would have been so cool if humans had something for display. And what I mean by that is, so a lot of times animals have like a certain body part or whatever. This thing doesn't have any purpose. What I mean is it's not necessary for survival. It's just there for show, and the reasons why it's for show is for mating or warding off predators or whatever, usually mating. And I was thinking that it would have been so cool if humans had something like that, but then I realized that most of the times, or at least I believe in most species, the ones that do have something for display are AMAB. So then I realized I wouldn't have that thing for display, and it triggered my dysphoria, which was weird. like dysphoria is such a weird thing. Like, it got triggered by a hypothetical situation. I don't know why. That was weird. That was kind of weird. That was interesting. So I took inspiration from these air sacs or whatever, and thought it'd be cool for Meganium, instead of having petals around the base of its neck, it would have them kind of like going down its neck, like kind of like as those air sacs, but like in a more petal kind of shape, I guess. Now, in that Prehistoric Planet episode, it was specifically talking about Dreadnoughtus, not Brachiosaurus. So I could totally see like someone being like, and that's a fair actually. That's a fair one, and I applaud you for that and for picking up on that. However, all sauropods have air sacs in their necks, and usually other parts of their body as well. All sauropods have air sacs in their necks, definitely, because that's actually how they got to be so big, because they were mostly hollow. And dinosaurs today, avian ones, birds, they also have air sacs in them, like their bones are hollow. And I was looking up a photo to prove this. Like, I was looking up like a diagram, you know, something scientific to like make sure that I wasn't talking out of my ass and that what I was saying was actually accurate. And I found this, which isn't exactly what I meant by birds being hollow and filled with air, but I think it still proves my point. Meganium also has these like antennae, because I believe it's also a bug Pokemon. Oh, it's a grass type. I don't know, whatever. It's got antenna like a bug. So then I was thinking that maybe it was originally, okay. I don't even know what I was trying to think of. I was thinking that maybe there was some sort of symbiotic relationship going on. I think this is actually I kind of did this a little out of order. I was thinking about the antenna before I was thinking about the air sac things. But I was originally thinking that the antenna and that the flower thing would be kind of like something else, and there'd be some sort of like symbiotic relationship. I was refreshing on my the different types of symbiotic relationships. The ones where both benefit, the ones where one benefits and the other's neutral, and the other when one benefits and the other one dies, which is depicted here. But anyway, I was also looking at that eyelash bug for reference because I thought it'd be cool to draw super cool antenna. I actually ended up drawing the same kind of antenna, and I'll say why in a second. But yeah, I actually don't know why I was thinking so much about making a symbiotic relationship here for Meganium and not Bulbasaur, which was the more obvious one. But like I said, I don't like doing what's obvious. I don't like doing, I'm envy. I don't do that. I'm non-conformist. I'm counterculture. If you look at Meganium, the things on top of their head could be antenna, but they also kind of resemble stamen of a flower, which is basically the flower version of a penis. For those who don't know, it's the flower penis, which technically has like two little things, but I ended up just drawing one, and I'm gonna say that that was a choice because of the perspective and not because I'm stupid. But yeah, here was the first sketch I did. So yeah, I got my references. I was trying to think of some sort of thing where it's like Meganium, like it's egg thing is like a flower sort of thing, and it's like then how would they produce is like a different, you know, Meganium would kind of like down into the egg thingy, and then the petals would wilt away, and then it'd be just the egg in the ovule thingy. And for whatever reason, I wrote down asexual reproduction because I guess I was thinking plants don't have sex. But this isn't asexual reproduction. This actually is sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is like something else. It's when they like split in half. And there's different versions. Basically, asexual is there only needs to be one parent, and sexual is there needs to be two parents. And for this kind of lore thingy I was trying to think of, there would be two parents. There'd be like, so this egg thingy that had like flower petals around it, and then the Meganium would kind of fertilize the egg, and then the petals would kind of wilt away, and then it would just be the egg, which again would require different parents, one laying the egg, one. So that is sexual reproduction, and I'm stupid. Oh, here was one of the first sketches I drew, one of like very sketchy sketchies with the air sacs deflated, because I thought it would be cool if I drew two versions, but I completely forgot about this, and by the time I finished the first version, I didn't feel like redoing it. So yeah, but here is the finished product. I feel like the background is kind of cool. It was kind of cool. I feel like it's missing something, but not in a way where something needs to be added. It's like something needs to be different, if that makes sense. But I still really like the colors, and I like the kind of swoopiness of it, and I like the kind of shadow thing I kind of did. But yeah, as you can see, I just drew like the one bulb kind of thing instead of the like second one peeking out behind. We're just gonna say they're exactly behind each other, and I'm not stupid, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I drew Rampardos based on Pachycephалus, Bulbasaur as Smilodontini, Cubone as Trinisaura and Antarctopelta, and Meganium based on Brachiosaurus. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Drawing a couple well-known Pokemon like Bulbasaur and Cubone, and a couple that I didn't know as much because I go in and out of my Pokemon phase. It was very strong almost exactly a year ago once I dropped out of college, because I don't know why, like I had this realization that because I always felt like when I was younger I was like, oh well, I don't watch the games, or I don't watch the games. I don't play the games or know all the cards or play or watch all the episodes or blah blah. So I'm not like a real fan, but I've always like been interested in it. And then I realized a year ago that I had been gatekeeping myself from the Pokemon fandom simply because I don't know enough about it, but then I wouldn't let myself to get into it so I wouldn't know more about it, but then I wouldn't learn, but I wouldn't get into it more because I didn't know much about it. It was stupid. But anyway, also drew a couple dinosaurs that are more well known and a couple that aren't as well known, which was pretty cool. And it was a lot of fun. And thank you so much for watching. This has been me. That's not what I say when I try to do my outro. Thanks for sticking around, means a lot. I also make music, and I've been making this series watching this really interesting dinosaur show from the early 2000s called Dino Sapien. It gets real silly. I'll put the playlist here. And it's really fun editing it. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's it. Bye. 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 Get out of here. Bye. Do your homework or something, or don't. I don't know how old you. Bye bye. Do you like my makeup? I was feeling cunty. Sometimes I do my makeup and it triggers my dysphoria because I have that internalized thing of like, makeup is for girls. So I would do my eyeliner and then I was like, I look like a girl because it's something I associate with girls. So then I do it, but like